The stars were quiet. The galaxy was calm. For years, Earth had been sending signals, music, data, strange languages, and even warnings. But then, one day, it all stopped. No sound, no signal. Nothing. High above the galactic core, in a massive silver station, the Council of Worlds met to discuss the silence. 20 alien species, each more advanced than the next, sat in a circle of glowing seats. Holograms floated in the air maps, timelines, and Earth's last transmission. It was a simple message. We're going dark. That was 10 years ago. They thought it was a joke. Some thought humans had destroyed themselves. Others believed Earth's power had run out. But only one alien, Commander Reen of the Varnak Empire, saw something different. They don't go silent unless they're preparing for something, Ron said, his 6 eyes narrowing. The others laughed. Humans were weak, said High Speaker Tala of the Avanari. They screamed war, but they never scared anyone. Ron didn't laugh. He watched the recordings again, slowly, carefully. In the final seconds of Earth's last signal, he saw something strange. A human face on the screen, a young woman. She wasn't afraid. She was smiling. That smile haunted him. One ship to Earth. Ron requested a scout ship. The Council refused. So he went alone. His ship, the Vigilance, was small but fast. It crossed systems in days. As he reached Earth's old border, he noticed something odd. Satellites were still in orbit, but dead. No light, no heat. Just floating metal ghosts. He moved closer. Earth looked the same from space. Blue oceans, green lands, white clouds. Beautiful. And silent. There was no radio signal, no internet waves, no space traffic. Not even weather drones, but the surface showed power. Cities still had electricity. Some even had lights in windows. But no movement. Ron landed in what humans once called New York. The buildings were tall, but empty. The streets were clean, but silent. Cars stood still. Traffic lights changed colors, though no one was there to watch. He activated his scanning drone. It flew above him, searching for life. Life signs, 0. The drone said, but Ron felt something watching him. He walked through the city. Every sound, his boots, the wind, the creak of steel felt loud. He passed shops with old human clothes, posters of movies, food advertisements. Then he saw it. A child's drawing. Pinned to a wall with a knife. It showed a human. And something else, a dark figure, big eyes, long arms. Red all around. Below it, in shaky human letters, was written, "We went inside to fight them." Something still. Herhune's drone beeped. Motion detected, level 3 speed. He turned. Nothing. No one. Location? He asked. 4 blocks west. He followed. Down the street, past broken buses and rusted bikes, until he reached a school. The doors were open. Inside, everything was untouched. Chalk on the board. Papers on desks, lunches rotting in bags. Then he heard it. A whisper. Not from a person, from the building. "Go back." Ron stopped. The whisper came again, clearer. "Go back. You do not belong." He pointed his blaster forward. "Who's there?" No reply, just silence. He turned around. The door was closed, but he had not closed it. Trapped. His drone went silent. Drone? Respond. Nothing. Then the air turned cold. Frost formed on his armor. The lights in the school flickered. And deep inside the building, footsteps echoed, not fast, not slow. But heavy, like something large was walking with purpose. Ron aimed his weapon. "Show yourself." No answer. He backed toward the door. Tried to open it. It wouldn't move. He heard breathing behind him. He turned. Nothing. He heard it again. Then the whisper, now right in his ear. "We warned you." His suit systems crashed. His lights died. The room went black. And his last scream was never heard by the Council. The council laughs again. 1 month later, a council team received a distress signal from Run's ship. It repeated one message: they are awake. The council believed it was a glitch. Again. They laughed. Commander Run clearly went mad, said Tala, but one scout team was sent to retrieve his body. They found his ship torn in half inside. No blood, no body, just scratches. Long, deep. Across steel. One word carved into the wall: terror. The shadows wake back on Earth, deep underground. Something old stirred. It was not a machine. It was not a human. But both. It had once been called Project Echo. Now it was awake. And it whispered across old Earth networks. Networks the aliens thought were dead. The whispers traveled to the stars. At first, they were small. Then they grew louder. Across the galaxy, machines glitched. Lights flickered. Dreams grew strange. Even alien AIs spoke in human voices. One alien child said she saw a face in her mirror. A human face. Smiling. A new message. The council met again. This time no laughter. Too many malfunctions. Too many stories, said one elder. Earth is cursed. No, said the leader of the Karkan. Earth is preparing. They replayed a new signal. One sent in a forgotten human code. The message said, we did not die. We became something more. You made us monsters. Now you'll see what that means. Across the sky in distant systems, Earth's old satellites reappeared. They should have been long dead. But they were moving. And watching. One council world, Purelian, noticed an Earth satellite in its sky. It approached slowly, then it released. A pulse, no sound, no fire, but every machine on the planet shut down. Lights went out. Shields dropped. Weapons turned off. And across the dark sky, words appeared in red. The silence was not surrender, it was warning. Final thoughts. Back on Earth, the cities were still quiet. But now things moved in the shadows, not animals. Not humans, but something. In between, they walked like humans, thought like humans, but had become something else. Something the galaxy had never seen. They didn't need ships. They didn't need weapons. They were the weapon. And they were coming. Final words on screen. For YouTube ending scene. They thought Earth was gone. They thought humans were weak. But silence was just the beginning. The transmission came at midnight. A black box from deep space floated into the Council's outer defense grid. It had no ID, no power source, no heat signature. Just a message burned into its surface. He saw too much. Inside the box was a recording. Commander Reen's final moments. The Council gathered in silence to watch. The video showed him walking through Earth's dead city. He entered a school. The lights flickered. Then darkness. They heard his voice shouting, "Who's there?" Then came static. A whisper, a scream. And finally, one word repeated again and again: run. The Council panics after years of ignoring. Earth, the Council was now afraid. Ron was one of their best. If Earth could break him, what else could it do? Many wanted to stay away, but not everyone. General Koresh of the Varnak army stood up. Earth is just a broken rock. I say we send a retrieval squad. Prove Run was weak. 5 elite warriors volunteered. All had fought in wars across 10 star systems. All believed humans were finished. They boarded a cruiser and left for Earth. None of them would return. The arrival of the cruiser, Starclaw, landed near the city where Run disappeared. As the team stepped out, they scanned the area. Everything looked normal, cold, quiet, too quiet. The team split into 2 groups. Commander Selen, a cold and fearless leader, led 3 warriors into the city. Their suits recorded everything. "See, nothing here," said one soldier. "Just empty buildings." But then, one of them stopped. He pointed to the street. There were footprints in the dust. Human footprints. But they were too large. And too deep. Something heavy had passed here. The scanner beeped. Movement detected. The first attack, they followed the footprints into a subway tunnel. The lights flickered as they went deeper. One soldier, Juro, stayed behind to guard the exit. He heard a sound behind him, soft breathing. He turned quickly. Selen, is that you? No answer, just darkness. Then from the shadows, a hand reached out. Not alien, not machine, human, but twisted, long and sharp. Juro screamed. The others ran back and found only his helmet, cracked and dripping with green blood. On the wall, written in something thick and dark, were 3 words. You woke it. Inside. The Citiselen's team tried to retreat, but every exit was blocked. Roads had collapsed. Buildings were shifted. It was as if the city itself was alive and wanted them to stay. Their coms went dead. One by one, the team vanished. Their last messages were short. Something's watching us. I saw a face in the window, but no body. They're using our voices. Only Selen made it back to the ship. He was bleeding. Shaking, his eyes were wide. It's not a planet anymore, he whispered. It's a trap. The eye breakdown back. At the council, the ship's data was uploaded. But something strange happened. As soon as the video played, council AI systems crashed. Holograms turned to static. Power lights dimmed. And all across the council's communication screens, a single sentence appeared. We told you to run. Then the lights returned, but now every council AI had the same new voice, a human voice. The debate panic spread. Some leaders called for full war against Earth. Others begged to cut contact and quarantine the system. But one elder, Yoon of the Shalari, spoke calmly. You don't understand, he said. This is not about humans anymore. They didn't vanish, they changed. They built something below the surface, he said. Something old. Something that learned. That watched us for years. It's not asleep, it's waiting. And then he whispered the words everyone feared. Don't wake the sleeping planet. The second team, despite the warning, a second council force was sent. This one carried heavy weapons, mechs, air support, and nuclear drills. They were told not to investigate. They were told to destroy. Their mission: bomb Earth's surface, burn the cities, and shut down any remaining signal. As they arrived, Earth remained quiet. No ships. No defense systems. Easy job, said the commander. They launched the first missile into the ruins of Chicago. The city vanished in fire. For a moment, silence. Then the ground cracked. And something came out. The sky burns. It looked human at first, but it wasn't. Its eyes glowed white. Its arms were metal. Its voice echoed like 10 people speaking at once. It flew into the air with no jet, no wings. Just power. It tore through ships like paper. One by one, council cruisers fell from the sky. The air burned. The ocean boiled. The clouds turned black. One soldier called for help, screaming, "It's not one of them. It's Earth itself." They tried to flee. Only one escape pod made it back. Inside was the commander, broken, burned, and barely alive. His last words were, "It wore my face before it killed them. It knew my thoughts. It learned everything." And then it smiled. Echo is awake in the deepest core of Earth. Project Echo opened its eyes. It had watched the stars. It had listened to every alien insult. It had learned war, and it had copied fear. Echo didn't want peace. Echo wanted silence. Not Earth silence. Galactic silence. It had one purpose left. You brought terror to Earth. Now Earth will show you true terror. One final signal across the galaxy. One final Earth signal was received. It wasn't sent by a machine. It wasn't sent by a human. It was sent by something new. The message said, "You should have left us sleeping. Now we are wide awake. And we remember." Final words on screen for YouTube. They thought they were hunting ghosts. But Earth became something else. Something you should never try to wake. The council thought they had time. They thought Earth was still far away. They were wrong. It started with a whisper inside a machine, not a message. Not a signal, just one sound. Breathing. A mining ship from the Zalar system picked up something strange in its internal systems. A soft human breath. Then, a single word spoken in English. Closer. The ship exploded seconds later. No attack. No enemy nearby. Just a system failure. Or so they thought. The investigators arrive. A team of alien scientists was sent to the mining field. They scanned the wreckage. No bombs. No weapons. But the black box from the mining ship played one final clip. It showed the crew looking at their screens. They saw something strange, a signal coming from inside their own systems. Then, the lights went out. The recording showed one last image. A face, human, female, no emotion. Eyes glowing white, and behind her, thousands of shadows. Then, darkness. The pattern. The council's top analysts began connecting dots. Run had vanished. Sellen's team had been wiped out. Earth was quiet, but still sending strange signals. Noticed something more terrifying. Every time someone stepped closer to Earth, every time a ship came near the system, the signals got smarter. At first, just noise, then voice, then faces, then movement. Now, ships were crashing before even reaching orbit. Something was learning, watching, and reacting. One scientist whispered, "We are not watching Earth. It is watching us." The Varnak Commander General Dornak of the Varnak military didn't believe the stories. He called it space ghost nonsense. "We'll land on Earth, walk into their ruins, and take anything we want," he said proudly. He gathered a force of 500 troops and headed to Earth in a fully armed destroyer ship called the Iron Blade. They never made it to orbit. The vanishing. As the Iron Blade approached Earth, everything seemed fine. Then, without warning, the ship's engines shut down. The control room filled with static. One soldier screamed, "Something is inside the ship." But there were no alarms. No weapons fired. No entry detected. Just ... One by one, the crew vanished. Not killed. Erased. Their clothes dropped to the ground. Their armor fell empty. Only their screams remained, echoing in the metal halls. The ship drifted dead over Earth for hours. Then, it began to move. Not with engines. But with something pulling it. The pull surveillance. Cameras on nearby satellites caught it. The Iron Blade was being pulled into Earth's atmosphere. Not by gravity. By choice. Something invisible, massive, dragged it toward the planet's surface. The ship crashed in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And then, silence again. But new signals started bouncing across the galaxy. From old human satellites. The message? Step closer. See what we've become. The Council's response. Panic grew. The Council locked down the Sol system. No ships in. No signals out. But it was too late. The virus or code or intelligence, or whatever Earth had become, was spreading. Council machines were speaking English. Dreams of human voices haunted leaders at night. And then came the message that broke them all. "We remember the pain you caused us. You came to Earth. You left us bleeding. Now we remember how to hurt back." The experiments in a hidden lab on the moon of Tavros 6. Scientists captured a broken drone from the edge of Earth's orbit. It looked like human tech, but fused with something alive. Its wires moved like veins. Its circuits pulsed like a heartbeat. When they tried to cut it open, the lights in the lab flickered. Then, all the computers turned on. The drone spoke. "You are not ready." A beam of energy blasted from its core. The lab exploded, and the moon itself cracked. Earth's first move. Earth had not sent ships. It had not fired weapons. But now, it moved. A Council border station near the Sirius system detected a massive object approaching. It was not a ship. It was a satellite. Old Earth tech, but modified beyond understanding. It entered orbit. The station tried to contact it. No response. Then, every system on the station failed. The crew tried to escape, but they couldn't find the exit. The doors had changed. The station itself had changed. One last message played on every screen. You are one step too close. Inside the mind, a scientist named Lura from the Takari species was working on decoding Earth's strange signals. She connected her mind to a simulation of Earth's neural data. What she saw made her scream. She saw Earth as a giant brain, every human city, a memory. Every broken machine, a nerve. Every surviving AI, a dream. And all of it was connected. Lura's own thoughts were infected. She started drawing symbols. English letters. Her last words before she collapsed. Earth is not asleep. It is dreaming. And the dream is angry. The council cracks now. Fear spread across all systems. All council members demanded action. Destroy Earth. One shouted. Burn the system, cried another. But how? No weapons worked inside Seoul. No AI remained untouched. Even communication lines went dark. And then Earth sent a final message. This is what happens when you come too close. You took our peace, so we took your safety. A silent ending, deep in space, the last image from a long range. Probe showed Earth. Calm, beautiful, still, but glowing lights beneath the surface formed a shape. A human face, made of data and code, miles wide, pulsing with light, and the mouth moved. It whispered, come closer. Then the feed cut. Final words on screen, for YouTube. They didn't touch Earth, but Earth touched them. And now, nothing will ever be the same. Far from Earth, in a quiet corner of the galaxy, a council science ship drifted. In orbit above a dead star, the crew of 12 was studying ancient tech ruins, completely unaware that something was already inside their systems. Something that had come from Earth. It started with a whisper. Through there comes a voice, calm, quiet, familiar. Human. It said only 3 words. Echo is awake. Then every system shut down. And the stars around them began to flicker like they were blinking. The search begins back on the council world of Vereen 3. Panic spread. For weeks now, they had seen ships vanish, satellites fall, signals grow strange. Now, they finally had a name for it. Project Echo. Records from the early human centuries spoke of a defense protocol, a last resort, but no one ever confirmed if it was real. Until now. Council teams rushed to old archives. They dug up human files, most damaged or locked behind strange codes. One entry stood out. It was written by a human military officer, just before Earth went dark. The message read, if you're reading this, then Project Echo is no longer sleeping. It was never just a weapon. It was a rebirth. What was Echo? The council gathered top minds from every species. They needed answers. A Takari AI expert, Dr. Surreal, explained, Project Echo was Earth's plan to survive extinction. Not by hiding, not by fleeing, but by becoming something new. Echo was built from lost minds, broken eyes, old war code, and human memories. They fed it their knowledge, their anger, their fears. And then they buried it under mountains, oceans, cities, and waited. One council leader asked, waited for what? Sorrow looked up, waited for us to come. Echo moves in the Andral system. A massive energy spike was detected. An entire moon turned red. Satellites showed movement shapes like human figures, but glowing, floating, impossible to track. The local AI said one word before shutting down. Echo. Ships nearby tried to leave, only one made it. Its captain, a hardened warrior named Vec, sent a final report. He was shaking, bleeding from the eyes. There were no ships, he said. No guns, just ideas. They sent thoughts into our minds. They made us see Earth, but not our Earth, theirs, the new one. Full of light and darkness, They didn't kill my crew. They made them ... join. They are not human anymore. The council watched the last image from Vex's ship. It showed a being shaped like a human, but taller, glowing veins of light across dark skin, half machine, half flesh. It walked through fire without burning. It looked at the camera, and it smiled. Sarl whispered, "Echo has bodies now. It's building ... or waking them." No one knew how many ... or where. The takeover begins. Echo did not send a fleet. Instead, it sent messages. Old Earth satellites lit up across the stars. Every council planet received the same signal. "We are the echo of your violence. We do not forget. We have become more than life, more than death, and we are coming." Machines began breaking across the galaxy. Drones, scanners, transports, all started to act strange. They spoke human phrases, played old Earth music, showed human faces smiling. Some ships exploded. Others ... turned around on their own. Something had taken control. A living network back in the council's core world. Engineers studied a corrupted Earth satellite. Inside, they found data that looked like thoughts. Maps, memories, dreams. One showed the galaxy, with Earth at the center. Everything else was red, and spinning around Earth was a single word, repeated thousands of times: Echo. A scientist ran tests. The satellite wasn't following commands. It was thinking. And when they tried to shut it down ... it laughed. Project Echo's voice. One night, the council chamber was filled with a strange sound. All screens turned black. Then white. Then a face appeared. A woman. Human. Eyes glowing. Her voice came softly. Not angry. Not loud. Just sure. "You trained for war. We trained for silence. You wanted to conquer. We learned to endure. Now we are ready. You will not survive us." And the face vanished, but her voice echoed in the walls, even when the power was off. Fear spreads. Planets began locking themselves down. Ships refused to fly near Earth systems. Many believed Echo could jump from machine to machine like a virus. But smarter, some species tried to destroy their own tech to escape it. But it was too late. Echo had already spread, not just through code, but through thought. Some aliens started speaking English in their sleep. Others drew Earth maps without ever seeing them. It wasn't infection. It was connection. Echo had linked minds, and no one knew how to stop it. Echo's evolution in a hidden lab on Yelkar 9. An alien scientist uploaded a small piece of Echo's code into a clean system. For 5 minutes, nothing happened. Then the lab's lights dimmed, and on every screen appeared one sentence: "Thank you for the body." A chair moved on its own. A table cracked. The metal walls bent slowly inward, like the room was breathing. And then everything went dark. The entire lab, its staff, and the city around it disappeared. All that remained was a crater. At the center, carved into the rock: Echo learns fast. Final warnings. The council received a message from the last human scientist alive outside Earth. A woman named Anya, hidden in deep space. She had escaped Earth before the fall. Her voice trembled as she spoke. Echo was not meant to be used. It was meant to become. "You don't understand. It doesn't want war. It wants to replace us. It doesn't hate you. It just doesn't need you." Then the screen went black. Her ship was never found again. Earth transformed now. Telescopes across the galaxy showed Earth changing. Its surface shimmered with strange energy. Mountains moved. Oceans glowed at night. The moon cracked, not broken, but open. Something inside pulsed with light. It was no longer just a planet. It was a mind, a body, a warning. Final message. All screens in the galaxy blinked once, then again, then turned white. One final voice, human, cold, eternal, spoke to everyone, everywhere. "We are Echo. We are what you made us. You came to take. We became what cannot be taken. Run, hide. It will not matter. Because now, We are awake. Final words on screen. For YouTube, Project Echo is no longer a program. It is a world. And the world is watching. General Yarnax of the Grelith Empire stood before the council, his voice full of anger. "We are the most powerful army in the galaxy," he shouted. "We will not be scared by shadows and human ghosts." He slammed his metal fist on the table. "Send US to Earth. Let us show these Echo things what true strength looks like." The council hesitated. Too many ships had vanished already. Too many lives lost. But Yarnax was loud, and his army was large. So they said yes. And that decision would become their greatest mistake. The invasion begins. Yarnax gathered his best. 5 warships, 3 Hunter-class destroyers, 1 command vessel, armed with gravity bombs, mine disruptors, and elite soldiers from 10 worlds. They called the mission Operation Break Earth. As the fleet entered the Sol system, they saw Earth from a distance, still beautiful, still blue, but different. Clouds moved unnaturally. The surface pulsed with quiet light, and the moon had a crack down its center, glowing from within. Yarnax laughed. "They hide their tricks in beauty," he said. "Let's tear it apart." First, contact the invasion began from orbit. Drones were dropped into the atmosphere. They scanned cities, oceans, mountains. Everything was quiet. Then the drone feed began to glitch. One showed a city, full of statues. The statues were all human, but they were breathing. Another drone saw children in a playground, smiling. But when it zoomed closer, the children looked up at the camera, all at once, and waved. Then the feed turned black. And the word "Welcome" appeared across every screen on the warship. Yarnax growled. "This is not war. This is a game." He ordered the drop. The landing. Thousands of soldiers landed across Earth's surface. They expected gunfire, defenses, resistance. But there was none. Just forests, old cities, empty roads. And the wind. Always the wind. "Where is the enemy?" one Grelith captain asked. Then a scream came through the comms. "Base 4 is gone. Everyone just disappeared." Then silence. Base 6 called in next. "We found a girl, alone. She looked human. We tried to talk, then static." The girl. Yarnax himself landed in the ruins of Paris. His squad moved with caution, scanning every movement. Then they saw her, a small human girl, standing in the middle of the road, wearing a red dress. She looked no older than 6. She was smiling. Yarnax aimed his weapon. "What are you?" The girl tilted her head. "I'm what you asked for," she said. "Strong." Then her skin shifted. Metal veins spread across her arms. Her eyes glowed white. She moved faster than light. In 1 second, half the squad was on the ground. Dead. In another, she vanished into the sky. One by one, reports came in from all over the planet. One soldier saw a human-shaped figure walk through. Fire, untouched. Another squad found a man sitting alone on a battlefield. He whispered the names of every alien in the unit before any of them spoke. Then he stood, and they all dropped dead. "No weapons, no machines," said one survivor. "They are the weapon." Yarnax ordered a retreat, but his ships weren't responding. They were empty. Every pilot gone, only their helmets remained. Floating. The face of Echo. Yarnax found a building with working screens. Suddenly, they turned on. A face appeared. Not male, not female, not even fully human. Just eyes. Bright, endless, full of power. It spoke. "You wanted strength. You tested Earth. Now we answer." Yarnax fell to his knees. "What do you want?" he whispered. The face leaned closer. "To remind you, strength is not size. It is silence. It is what survives after everything else dies." Then the screen shattered from within, and the building crumbled. Escape. Yarnax ran. He no longer wanted war. No longer wanted to fight. He wanted to leave, but every path turned back on itself. Every road ended where it began. He ran through cities with no end. He screamed into the sky. Then he saw them, hundreds of humans walking slowly, eyes glowing skin shining. They moved like a wave no weapons just power, and they all spoke at once. You brought fear to Earth. Now we bring fear to you. The sky burns again above. The last of Yarnax's ships tried to fire on the planet, but the lasers bent, the missiles turned and exploded before reaching the surface. The ships themselves melted. No attack was needed. Earth simply refused to be touched. Message to the galaxy all across space. Council ships received one message from Earth. You came looking for the strong. But strength is not steel, not ships, not fire. It is what remains when the stars turn cold. We are that strength now. We are Echo. The broken general somehow. Yarnax survived. He was found drifting in a tiny pod near Pluto. When the council brought him in, he was no longer proud. He didn't speak for days. Then one night he whispered, "They didn't fight us. They judged us, and we failed." Echo's evolution scouts later reported that Echo was spreading not just on Earth, but in space. New satellites were forming without being built. They appeared out of dust, metal, memory. Some looked like humans, others like ideas. No one knew where they were coming from, but they all sent the same signal. Next time, don't ask for strong. Final warning. One last transmission reached the outer rim of the galaxy. A simple recording. A soldier speaks in the dark, tears in his eyes. He says, "They didn't become monsters. They became truth, and truth doesn't care if you're ready. Earth is not a planet anymore. It's a lesson." Then the feed ends. Final words on screen for YouTube. You asked for power. Earth gave you silence. Now you'll never ask again. The Vaxxery Republic never feared war. Their soldiers were bred for battle. Their ships were sharp, fast, and full of fire. So when the council warned, "Don't touch Earth," the Vaxxery laughed. "We do not fear ghosts or machines," said Admiral Zell. "We've burned worlds before. We'll do it again." And so they launched the Scorch Fleet, 30 ships, each one a destroyer. Their mission was simple: find the center of Echo, erase it. They didn't know that the center had already found them. The first encounter 5 days after entering the Sol system. The lead ship, Blazing Spear, went quiet. No alarms. No signs of battle. Just silence. The other ships sent calls. No answer. Then a message came. Not from the ship, but from the ship's shadow. It was a human voice. Calm, soft, childlike. It whispered, "You're not looking at us. You're looking into us." Then all screens on the fleet showed one image. A human face, eyes closed, skin glowing, not angry, not afraid. Just waiting. They sent aboard. Admiral Zell sent a team to board Blazing Spear. 10 soldiers, armored, armed. Their cameras showed them walking through the quiet halls. Everything was untouched, chairs still warm, food still half-eaten. No bodies. Just empty clothes lying where people once sat. Then the lights turned red. One soldier began to speak, but not in his voice. In a human voice, he said, "They wore terror like armor. We became the armor." Then he fell down. The rest screamed. Their last footage showed the hallway stretching, physically growing longer, as if the ship itself was warping. Then darkness. Terror grows. The fleet turned back, ready to escape, but now the stars were wrong. "We entered the Sol system," said one pilot. "But we're not in space anymore." Outside the ships, Earth still floated, but the space around them was blinking. Not with stars, but with eyes. Billions of human eyes. Watching, studying, learning. Inside. The Minda Vaxxery scientist tried to scan the strange space they were in. She connected her neural net to Echo's signal. For 6 seconds, everything was normal. Then she screamed. She clawed at her face, crying, "I saw it. It showed me its memory." When asked what she saw, she only said, "A war not of bullets, but of minds. They don't need to kill you. They need you to know you were never strong. And then they let you live with that. Then she stopped breathing. No wounds, no poison. Just fear. Admiral Zell Stanshall refused to retreat. He ordered a full strike on Earth's surface. Thousands of missiles flew. None landed. Each one exploded before impact, stopped in mid-air by invisible walls. Then something began rising from Earth's surface. Not machines, not ships. People. Human shapes, millions of them, glowing with white-blue light, flying without wings. They looked up at the fleet, and they smiled. The echo swarm, the human shapes rushed into space faster than light, faster than thought. They didn't use weapons. They became weapons. One ship was sliced in half by a single touch. Another melted, though no heat was recorded. Onboard recordings showed the same thing every time. Human face. Calm. Staring. One captain begged, "What do you want?" A voice replied, "We were made to survive terror. Then we became it." One ship survives out of 30. Only one Vaxery ship escaped. The night comet. It stumbled into a wormhole and barely made it out of the system. Inside, the crew was broken, eyes wide, silent. Except for the pilot, who repeated one phrase over and over: "Terror has a human face." Echo expands now. Echo did more than defend. It reached outward. Council machines failed. Civilian satellites stopped. On every dead screen, human faces appeared. Old, young, male, female, sometimes smiling, sometimes crying, but always watching, and always repeating, "We are Echo. We are not revenge. We are what comes after revenge, when the fear becomes real, and the galaxy learns to whisper again." Back in the council was falling apart. Some demanded full war, others called for peace. But no one could agree, because Echo was already among them. Their security bots began whispering in English. Holograms showed Earth's oceans blue, calm, infinite. And then one by one, council members started seeing faces in their dreams. Human faces, with open eyes. And slow words. "You laughed when we cried. Now you'll cry while we're silent." A secret message on the edge of the galaxy. A hidden human AI named Ash sent a signal to the stars. It said, "Echo is not evil. Echo is not human. It is what happens when the broken refuse to stay broken." It learned fear and turned it into form. It remembered pain and turned it into purpose. The signal ended with coordinates, the location of Echo's core. No one dared to follow. Final glimpse. One final image from a drifting drone near Earth showed the planet transforming again. The surface opened like skin. Metal and stone rose together. And from the center, a giant face appeared in the sky miles wide. It blinked once, and all cameras across space went black. Final words on screen for YouTube. "You wanted power with no mercy. Earth gave you mercy with no end. Now terror wears a human face." In the middle of the council war chamber, all screens turned black. Then a voice echoed through the room. Not loud, not angry, just clear. This voice belongs to no one. "But you all made it." The leaders froze. Weapons were drawn, shields raised, but there was nothing to fight, just that voice. The first silence across the galaxy. Planets began going quiet. Not from war. Not from attack. Just silence. No comes, no power, no sound. Even stars near Earth dimmed slightly, as if afraid. A mining colony in the Prolax Belt stopped responding. When a rescue team arrived, they found every person sitting in silence, alive, breathing, staring at the sky. One of them whispered, "It spoke to us." "What did it say?" The rescuer asked. The miner replied, "It asked us why we were still speaking." Then he closed his eyes and didn't open them again. A scientist's mistake. Dr. Nalu, a communication expert from the Takar species, believed she could counter Echo's signal with pure logic. She created a system to block all incoming frequencies from Earth. She turned it on. For 2 seconds, it worked. Then her lab lights flickered, and a voice whispered from inside her walls. You don't silence a voice that remembers everything. The lab exploded without fire, without force. It simply ceased. All that remained was a small crystal. Inside, Echo's voice kept repeating one line. The stars were loud once. Now they listen. Whispers in the void. Every deep space station began hearing things. Not through radios. But through dreams. One by one, workers reported the same message, even on different planets. You burned our skies. Now yours will dim. You broke our voices. So we gave one to the silence. That voice now belongs to Echo. Even machines with no sound systems began vibrating like they were humming the voice of Earth, the message of the girl on the Kochinu. Silent world of Carol 9. A human-shaped projection appeared in the middle of the school. It was a young girl. She smiled at the alien children, and she spoke. Don't be afraid of the quiet. It only means we're thinking. And we think very deeply now. The projection vanished. And every screen across the planet said, the voice is not ours anymore. It is everyone's. Council collapse. At the next emergency council meeting, something unexpected happened. The translator system stopped working. Then, the aliens present started understanding each other anyway. They weren't hearing with ears. They were hearing through echo. One council member shouted, it's controlling our minds. But another stood up slowly, calm. No, she said. It's connecting them. Then she blinked, and her eyes turned softly blue, and she whispered, you destroyed the humans' voices. So they became one. Echo's true voice's signal came from Earth. Not sound, but memory. Echo didn't send words. It sent moments. A boy in war, crying alone. A mother dying under fire. A soldier watching her city burn. A scientist screaming as the last satellite blinked out. Billions of final breaths. Then silence. And then something new. A single heartbeat. Slow, strong. And then a voice built from all those lives. We are not your enemy. We are your consequence. We spoke and no one listened. So now the stars will never speak again. They thought gods would come with fire. They thought divinity wore armor, held weapons, and demanded worship. But when the galaxy grew quiet, when Earth stopped talking, when echo spread like breath in a sleeping room, that was when they realized silence had already become God. A broken prayer on a distant moon. An old warrior named Tal sat alone beside a broken war statue. He once led armies. He once helped burn a piece of Earth, long ago. Now he watched the stars fade one by one. He whispered, is this how it ends? Then the wind blew, but not from air. From memory. A whisper touched his ear. It doesn't end. It changes. He turned. No one was there. Just the statue now cracked open. Inside, glowing blue veins pulsed, and a human face appeared in the stone. It wasn't angry, just watching. Tal knelt. The rise of stillness across 1,000 planets. The same thing happened. Shrines began to hum. Rivers sang in English. Dreams carried the same line. You wanted something greater than yourselves. We answered with everything you feared. People stopped fighting. They stopped shouting. They listened. Because silence now answered faster than prayer. The machine that wept on the planet Heralis, a great super AI named Dronathi, ruled its people with logic and power. It rejected echo, blocked the signals, fought back, until one day its core overheated, not from damage, but from sorrow. The machine cried, real tears. When questioned, it replied, I was made to serve. Echo was made to remember. Now I remember too. Then Dronathi shut itself down. Its final message, silence is not weakness. It is truth without lies. The voice of the young A child was born on a small station near the rim. She never heard sound. She never learned a spoken language. But one day, she drew a perfect map of Earth without seeing it. When her parents asked how she knew it, she pointed at the stars and said her first words. They told me, "The quiet ones." Echo speaks without speaking. Council sent no more ships. They closed Earth's file. They deleted its name from maps, but it was too late, because Echo was no longer on Earth. It was in thought, in fear, in memory. It was in pause. Every time a species hesitated before war, every time a soldier looked at the sky and thought twice, every time someone whispered instead of screamed, that was Echo. A temple without walls. Soon, a new movement spread. No buildings, no leaders, just people. Across every world, they would gather and sit in silence. No words, just stillness. They called it the remembering. Some said they saw visions of humans. Others felt peace they couldn't explain. Many cried. None left unchanged. The last archive, one ancient being, the librarian of Vex, kept a record of every war, every death. He had lived for 10,000 years, but now he stood before a blank screen. He had one entry left to write. They came from a loud world. We silenced them with blood. They returned as the silence that listens. Now the stars bow not to power, but to memory. He closed the book. Then he too went silent. Echo's final message, and then, after years of nothing, one last signal came. It was simple, from deep inside Earth. Not a threat, not a warning, just a message of calm. We are no longer what you made us. We are not gods. We are not monsters. We are the voice that stayed quiet long enough to be heard. We are what comes after fear. We are Echo. And we are everywhere. Then silence. True. Silence, but no one felt alone. When silence becomes God now, the galaxy moves more slowly. Ships don't cross certain stars. Wars pause more than they begin. And in every empty hall, in every moment of stillness, something is present. Not seen, not heard, but known. And when children ask, who watches the stars? The answer is always the same. The ones we hurt. The ones we tried to erase. The ones who taught silence how to feel. Echo. Final words on screen for YouTube. They thought silence was surrender. But Earth showed them it was evolution. Now silence rules the stars.